Hi, everyone. How are you guys? I already see people in the chat. Oh, my husband's in the chat. Hi, Jeff Long. How are you? Okay, so I kind of reset my computer. I redid my office today, which I'm really excited about. But okay, see this. So that's what I was worried about. I don't know if I have the right tabs open. I don't know if you guys can hear me. So if anyone can just say, yes, I hear you, then I know that part's good. And hopefully you can see me. Hi, Annie. How are you? Hi, Craig. How are you? Good morning, John. Hi, George. Middle of the night for you, George? I can't remember. I know it's getting late over there, but yeah, it would be late, right? Not morning for you though, right, George? All right. It's interesting, Jeff, that you're showing up as Jeff Long and not Skyfocal. It's interesting. Hi, Leanne. How are you? Hi, Faith. Hi, Jen. Hi, Wendy. Oh, Wendy's making air fryer shrimp. Awesome. I hope you love them. Let's see. Okay, good. Hi, Dee. Jeff says we can hear you. That's good. Okay. All right. Hi, Joni. Hi, Jane. Hi, BE. Hi, Nancy. Wow, so many people. This is awesome. Hi, Linda. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Rengoku. I don't know if I said that correctly, so please let me know. Jeff logged in as him, so you guys know who it is. Hi, Crystal. How are you? Oh my gosh, so sorry. Migraines are really terrible. Hopefully you're feeling better. Hello, Juliet. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Brian. Hi, Larry. Good evening. Hi, Tikio. How are you? I said it correctly. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I could say it again. Rengenko. See, now I'm not saying it correctly. Oh, well. First time was a charm. Wendy, I don't know if I said hi to you, but I see John saying hi to you, so I'm saying hi again. All right. That's awesome. Hi, Bob. So many people. That's so awesome. Well, I hope everyone's doing well. I missed you guys last week. Oh my gosh. So we missed Tasty Tuesday. As you guys know, I was traveling. Hi, Matt. How are you? So real quick, I don't know how many people are in the chat that were here last week, but I kind of threw out there, hi, Marty. I threw out there, like, let's think of something in March that you've always wanted to make, but it's been like a little intimidating, or, you think maybe it's not something easy enough or achievable. And then let's work together on it. Like, you can email me or whatever, and I will help. Hopefully I know how to do it. But if not, I'm good at research. So anyway, I wanted to share my decision of what I'm going to try to master in March. And then I'll talk a little bit about like the steps that I've made so far, because I just decided this like a couple days ago, and what I've done to kind of prepare for me to start practicing making these. So I'm going to make macarons. Okay. Those are the stacked cookies that apparently like have the worst reputation for being the most difficult cookie to make. I have tried to make them one time, but that's a funny story. I tried to make them, but I didn't have almond flour, so I ground my own almonds. Didn't have powdered sugar, so I made powdered sugar out of regular sugar. And then I didn't have any idea what I was doing. And you know what? They were okay. They certainly were not good enough, but I was surprised. They turned out okay, right? So that is my thing in March. I'm going to try to learn how to make these macarons. I don't know what kind, Bob. I'm not sure. They're not like, I don't know if they're like sugar wafers. I'll be really honest with you. I've never had them, which makes it a little bit difficult because I don't even know what the texture's like. I get the feeling they're crispy, but then a little soft, and they're usually filled with some sort of really flavorful filling. So you can make them all different kinds of ways. So that's what I'm going to work on. So while I say hi to a few people, why don't you guys come up with something if you haven't already, and put it in the chat. What do you want to work on in March to make? It could be a meal, like a special meal. Like if you've never made beef Wellington, maybe you want to make beef Wellington. If you haven't made lasagna, maybe you want to make lasagna. I mean, it really doesn't matter what it is. Anything. I mean, it could be a stir fry, right? It could be anything. Or a different cuisine or something like that. So yeah, think about that and then just throw it in the chat so we know. What are you going to work on? Or even if you know you're not going to work on it, because hey, I get that too. Just what do you want to learn to make? Okay, because I'm going to share something that I want to do coming up as an ongoing thing, and get your opinion on it because I think it's going to be fun and hopefully entertaining a little bit. Well, it'll be entertaining because I'm sure half these things I won't know how to do. So that'll be fun for you guys to watch me flub through it. All right. Like the macarons. I don't have a clue. Hi, Patsy. Good to see you. How are you? Bonnie, I don't remember if I said hi to you, but hi. Hi, Carol. How are you? Hi, Ellen. How are you? And what time is it in the Netherlands, Ellen? Hi, Leanne. I think I said hi to you already, but pho. Yes, I would love to learn how to make a really good pho. I think that's how you say it. It's not pho, it's pho, right? I think so. All right, let's see. I go just see if there's anybody else. Hi, Melba. Let's see. Oh, Daniel, no, it does not have to be in the Ninja Foodie. I'm not making the macarons in the Ninja Foodie. They're difficult enough. I'm not going to stress myself out. It can be in anything, anything you want. You know, if you haven't smoked a, meat, but you have a smoker, yeah, it could be in that. It could be anything. Okay, so D is telling me that macarons feel and taste like meringues. Okay. But a little bit more cookie-like, I would assume, because they do have that almond flour in there, or people use other kinds of flours. All right. Okay. Ellen made Chinese mee. I don't know what that is, Ellen. I'll have to look that up. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure it's delicious. Okay. Oh, it's 2 a.m. in the Netherlands. My goodness. All right. Bob, yes, like soft chocolate chip cookies. All right. So I'm going to go back up and I'm going to start putting some of these comments on the screen because they're great. They're wonderful. All right. And if you're on YouTube watching, you're not going to see the Facebook comments. And if you're on Facebook watching, you're not going to see the YouTube. So I'm going to post them in just a minute. But let me tell you what I did today to prepare, to get my brain prepared. And I've already learned some things. So I think of macarons. They're not macaroons. It's something different, but macarons as French, right? A French cookie. But I learned today doing some research and I joined a Facebook group that was for beginners. Although these people look so advanced, I don't really know if they're beginners or not because their cookies look amazing. But it is for beginners. So I was reading through the post and things like that. And I learned that there's 3 different techniques. You can do a French technique, an Italian technique, and a Swiss technique. And that's all about how you're making the cookie batter itself, if you even call it a batter, I'm not sure, but the cookie meringue, okay? And these are French cookies, but apparently, and I don't know this for fact, so if you know something else, please chime in, but from what I just read in this group and some other little researches on Google, is that a French chef used an Italian technique to kind of first make these cookies. And the difference is the way that you whip your egg whites with the sugar. So with the Swiss technique, which I think that's the one I'm going to do because I'm very familiar with making Swiss buttercream and I know exactly how all that works. And I get perfect results every single time making Swiss buttercream. So I think that's what I'm going to do to make the meringue. And so Swiss buttercream is when you put a bowl over like a steaming pot of water and you kind of whisk the egg whites and the sugar, granulated sugar, together until it heats to about 138 degrees or so, just until the sugar melts. So you have a real smooth texture. And then you put it into onto your KitchenAid mixer. You kind of do need a mixer for this. Put it to the KitchenAid mixer and you whip it and you start to make your meringue. So the egg whites whip up really well. Then you fold in your dry ingredients, okay? And that's the almond flour and powdered sugar, from what I understand. So that's the Swiss one. The French one is just where you put the sugar and the egg whites into a bowl and just whip them up. And the friction, I guess, kind of breaks up the sugar granules and makes it smooth enough. And then, of course, they bake in the oven, unlike a buttercream icing, which doesn't. So I guess they figure that the little granules of sugar just go away. And then the Italian one, this is the most complicated one. The Italian one, I think you make a simple syrup first, and then you do some other things to it. I didn't even read up on that one because I was like, okay, no, that's too complicated for me right now. Maybe another time I'll try that. So I'm getting familiar with different ways that this cookie is made and just kind of researching. And that's what I encourage everybody to do before they go to make something that they think is going to be a little technical, before they do it the first time, is plan ahead, right? Plan ahead. I'm also finding out that different kinds of flours, almond flours, make a difference, right? So, I mean, I'm going to use whatever I have on hand because, that's what I'm going to do. But if I run into issues, I'm going to first look at, if I know my technique was good, then I'm going to look at the almond flour, and maybe I need a drier almond flour. So anyway, it's fun though. It's fun. It's always so much fun for me to learn new things. And I just love it. So I'm looking forward to it. All right. So Ellen's already made the Chinese mee for the first time. I want to know what that is. I'll scroll down. I'm not sure what it is. Okay. BE homemade cinnamon rolls. Yes. Those are amazing. Those are not really, well, I say they're not that hard to make because I make bread and rolls all the time. But if you're new to making bread and rolls, then what I would start with is getting familiar with how to make a really good brioche roll. And then you can go to adding in the cinnamon and stuff. And there's different ways that you can roll them. I do have a recipe for homemade cinnamon rolls where I use the Ninja Foodie to cook them, but they can be baked in the oven as well. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. You know what I think is the hardest part about the cinnamon rolls is getting the icing correct, right? I'm not even sure I still have a perfect cinnamon roll glaze because I don't like it too sweet. And a lot of them are just too sweet. All right. So that's a really good one. All right. Kathy. Okay. I've never in my life had corned beef. What the heck is it? I am am I right to say that you're in the UK or something? You're not in the US, because I would think that you had seen it in the grocery store if you're in the US. But in the UK, they don't have corned beef. From what I understand, they have brisket, which we have brisket as well. Brisket and corned beef are the exact same cut of meat. However, the corned beef is preserved. It's cured in spices, and it sits in the refrigerator. Well, I mean, not the commercial ones. Well, I guess they do. They probably do sit in a refrigerator, but not like your home refrigerator. So it is just cured. And I think I cured mine for like 7 days. So last St. Patrick's Day, I started testing a recipe for brisket that I cured it and turned it into corned beef. And I had some major fails where it was way too salty. It really didn't taste right. But then I got it right. And I used a very large salt, right? So we filmed the video. It was the longest video in the world to film. Because I think it was a 7-day cure. So every day we had to film, well, every day, every other day, I don't remember, but we had to film me tossing this around in the bag because the beef sits in the bag with the cure. And I did a dry cure. There's 2 different kinds of cures you can do. I did a dry one. And you have to use the pink curing salt for this. And that's what turns the brisket, that red color that we know, to be corned beef. or pastrami, because that's another way to do it. I mean, that's another, another type of corning, if you will. What's the word I'm using? Curing. Okay. So I was going to release that this last week. And I'm looking at the video and I'm looking at the big box of salt that I have front and center. And I looked at it and I'm like, not for human consumption. What? I had used ice cream rock salt. Yeah, worked great. And I can now use a really coarse kosher salt. So I can replicate it, no problems. But I couldn't put the video out because I can't and look, I'm fine, right? I made it. It's fine. But I understand that that salt is not as clean necessarily as our regular sea salts, kosher salts, things like that are meant for human consumption, because ice cream salt is meant to go around the base or, of the ice cream maker. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I have to restart the video. So I have to redo it. Well, obviously I won't get it done for this year. So now it's on my schedule to do next year. So next year, Kathy and anyone else that wants to corn their own corned beef, corn their own brisket to make corned beef, you'll have a good video. But this year it didn't happen. Okay, so that is corned beef. And it tastes like, it has the texture of brisket. It could either be cooked to the point where it's like really falling apart, or it can be sliced, like a brisket could be sliced. And it has the same texture and everything, maybe a little softer just because of the curing process, but the flavors are different. So it's like spiced. I don't even know how to describe it. If anyone else can describe it better than I can, please do. But it's really delicious. Absolutely delicious. Okay, so that's corned beef. Hi, Norma. How are you? Okay, Jen, lobster thermidor. I've never made that either. That sounds fun to make, though. I'm not even sure, I think, isn't that like just lobster and cream sauce? I know I've had it before. Let me look it up. Let's see. Okay, it's surprisingly simple to make, somebody said. Cook lobster in a creamy white wine sauce. Okay, that sounds good. I'll have to, yeah. Well, let me know. Let me know if you make it, because that sounds awesome. Carol, yes, I have a recipe. I think I have 2 of them, but my beef stroganoff recipe is in my cookbook, The Flavors of Fall. So if you have that, it's in there. I don't remember if I have another version, but I have beef tips and rice, which is pretty similar. And then I have Swedish meatballs, which is a little different, but darn good. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the cat in the background. And Jeff didn't take his guitar to work, so that's on the pool table right now. Oh, George is saying that the cat was on the guitar case. Yeah, is that Lady May? Yeah. Okay, so Crystal wants to make cinnamon rolls as well. That's awesome. Jeff, John's being funny. He's saying that a concert's coming up because my cat was back there. I know you guys have already seen that. I'm way behind, so I'm gonna keep scrolling down here a little bit. Let's see. Hi, Dawn. I don't think I said hi to you. Hi, Betty. Hi, Viking Mama. Hi, Jolene. Now, I know I saw some other people that posted what they wanted to make, but I don't know if I missed them. So if I missed them, I'll see if I can get to them as we come down. I saw some other things. The pho, I know that was Leanne. That sounds amazing. And I've actually looked up recipes. I tried to make one time. It was really awful. But I watched somebody make one on, I think it was Facebook Reels, and it didn't look that difficult. It just looked a little time consuming. Okay. Viking Mama, let's see. And we can get into questions now too, guys. Okay. So this is your Q&A. It's not my Macaron soapbox or anything. I found out the cheese sauce, the one using sodium citrate, absolutely works with dairy-free cheese. You just may have to use more cheese. Awesome. Great tip. That's perfect. Did you use a certain type of cheese? Um, that's awesome. Oh, so Kathy's in the USA. All right. Well, Kathy, I would hope that you try corned beef. And if you do, if you like brisket, you'll probably like corned beef, and use my recipe for the Ninja Foodie if you have the Ninja Foodie, because it's absolutely amazing. And it is a little hands-on. I will tell you that it is, but it turns out so good. It's the best I've ever had or made. All right. Jolene has a question. Do you know if you can egg drop soup without the no-nos? What is a no-no? Well, I'm going to need some clarification because I don't know what a no-no is. Do you know if you can, I'm assuming, make egg drop soup without the no-nos? I'm going to need help with that because I don't know what that is. I mean, egg drop soup is simple. It's a chicken broth with beaten eggs that you kind of fold in. You can do it different ways to get different types of the egg in there. So some of it can be like floury. And when I say floury, I don't mean flour like white flour. I mean floury like soft and light, or you can make it a little bit denser. I have been trying to make a homemade egg drop soup and get it to taste the way that it does. And they use yellow food coloring. So I'm not going to use yellow food coloring. So it looks different. So I tried to use turmeric. That did not work. And it altered the taste so much that I don't recommend it. I know a lot of recipes do call for it. If you love turmeric, maybe you'll love it. I did not at all. So maybe those are the no-nos that you're talking about. I don't necessarily make mine with cornstarch. That might be another no-no. But you can if you want it to be a little bit thicker. So anyway, I've been working on it. I have never gotten it to, one time I did. One time I got it to where I was like, wow, this is it. This is it. And I could never replicate it again. And I think it has to do with, like, if you use a certain bouillon, which of course is going to have all this salt and all this stuff in it, right? It turns out better than just regular chicken stock. But I think there's a way we can do it that where it will taste amazing. It just won't look exactly the same. Won't be that bright yellow. All right. Okay, George. Yes, good point. You do have corned beef in the UK, but I believe what you call corned beef in the US is not the same thing. I believe you're right. I think yours is in a can. If I remember correctly, I've had this conversation with so many people in the UK, and I believe that you can get corned beef, but it's in a can. So when I show a big cut of brisket and call it corned beef, I had people saying, "What is that?" Ours is in a can. So it's probably the same cut kind of thing, but it's not going to taste the same. So it's going to be like canned canned meat, right? But I don't know that because I've never had your corned beef. So maybe it tastes the same. I don't know. Okay, this is a good question, Bob, and very timely. So, what is the difference? And I get these backwards. I have to look it up a lot. What I use the flat cut. Okay, so that I will tell you right off the bat. What is the difference between the point and the flat corned beef? Okay, so the whole brisket's got a flat and a point. So when you get corned beef in the grocery stores here in the US at least, you can, and it's not always labeled either, so you got to look at it. You'll either get a nice flat, even piece of meat, or you'll get this tapered, kind of thicker corned beef. I'm going to tell you what I think the differences are. I'm not sure that this is technical or anything like that, but I think the point is stringier and fattier. People say it has more flavor, but I don't like the texture of it. So the flat corned beef has a nice fat cap on top that when you render it, it's delicious, But the meat itself, there sometimes, depending on how far up you go, there'll be a piece of fat that runs through the meat. So that just depends. But if you get a certain portion of it, there isn't that. It's just a flat piece of meat with a nice fat cap on top. Those are the ones that I really like to cook, because I feel like they slice really nice. And if you render the fat, like a lot of people will boil their corned beef. And I had it like that for years and years and years. That's all my mom did, was boil corned beef and cabbage with potatoes and carrots and stuff. We loved it every single year. I mean, I loved it. I didn't even really know any other way until I started experimenting for myself. So I pressure cook, but I also air crisp it because I really like to get that fat rendered just like I do when I smoke brisket. And then you just get all this flavor, but the meat is not dry because you have this nice fat cap. Okay. If you trimmed off all of the fat cap and you tried to make a flat corned beef, it might be dry, So those are the differences to me. Anybody else want to chime in? Please, please, please do. Cannolis. Cannolis, Julie. That would be fun to learn how to make. And you need to have special equipment for cannolis, though. I've never made them myself. So yeah, that would be a good one. That would be a really good one. And it's probably not that hard once you break it down. I would work on getting the outside kind of perfected. The filling should be pretty easy to do. All right, let's see. All right, Connie. Hi, Louise. I just ordered the combi to replace my XL oven. Have you ever toasted bread in the combi? I haven't seen anyone that's done that. Was wondering how it toasts. It toasts perfectly, Connie. It's perfect. My only concern is that you may not like the size of the combi compared to the XL oven. I mean, like, it's probably, I don't know if I'm going to go so far as to say 50% smaller. I'm looking at my XL oven now and imagining the combi. You're going to lose space for sure. But the combi is amazing. So I do hope you love it. All right. Yeah. Bonnie say, make sure it's Himalayan salt this time. I have to get a really coarse sea salt. So I'm looking forward to that. I have some already and I'm sure it's going to work. Okay. Kathy's never had a brisket either. Okay. All right. Well, either one, give them a try. The thing about brisket and corned beef is your cooking technique, right? Will give you different results. With a brisket, you can bake it in the oven low and slow, or you can pressure cook it and then you can chop it up for sandwiches. You could slow cook it. I mean, you can do different things. With the corned beef, people usually either braise it, broil it. I'm not broil it, boil it, braise it, boil it. I think you can smoke it. Obviously, you can smoke anything, but I'm not sure. Personally, I'm not sure I would smoke a corned beef. And you can pressure cook them as well. But I like mine to be pressure cooked to tenderize them because it's a very tough cut of meat. So you do have to tenderize it. So I pressure cook and then air crisp. I like that. Okay, Wendy likes the shrimp. Yay, great. So glad to hear that. All right. Okay. D is letting us know if you live in the UK, it's called salt beef and it's available at Waitrose and Ocado. Okay. I will look up salt beef to see because I've had a lot of people say that it's not the same, but I'm not discounting you at all, D. I will look that up. I don't remember anyone calling it salt beef. So, all right. So Peter, a smoked brisket gives you the beautiful smoked meat. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And another little thing about corned beef that I'll just say is that the corned beef, the deli corned beef that you get, like go to your grocery store and you ask them for corned beef is not brisket. It is corned top round usually. So it's more like roast beef. So it's the cut that you would use for roast beef, but they corn it or they cure it, I should say. Um, all right. So Craig, the only corned beef I've had was from a can. I wonder, you're in Canada. I would think that you would have corned beef, but I'll have to look that up. You should try it. If you haven't tried corned beef, I would definitely try it. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to click. I just clicked. Okay, so Bonnie says, I actually made my very first corned beef in the Ninja, but it was too sweet with the sauce they gave with it. Corned beef doesn't usually come with a sauce. It comes with a seasoning packet. So I'm not sure. I mean, I say usually doesn't. I mean, that's just how I've always bought it with a seasoning packet, but I make my own seasoning packet. It doesn't come with enough seasonings for me, so I make my own. Hi, Susan. How are you? All right. Wendy's asking if I use Worcestershire sauce. For what? I'm not sure. So I'm kind of lost on that one. I don't know what that goes with. If it goes with corned beef, I use it, I believe, in my glaze. But I don't remember, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure I use it in the glaze. Thanks, John. John saying the beef tips and rice is yummy. Thank you, John. Okay, Monica, do you find that couscous is hard to get right in the speedy? Okay, so there's different kinds of couscous. Are you talking about the fine couscous, which I think is called Israeli couscous, or the pearled couscous, which is bigger? I don't like the little fine grains of couscous. The texture, I've just never enjoyed it. So I haven't made it before. But couscous that way, that the little small grains, I believe when I did make it once, you poured hot water over it to kind of soften it before you added whatever else you were going to add. And I think it was a cold couscous salad that I tried it with, and I didn't like it. The pearled couscous, I have a recipe, I think that uses the speedy, that uses pearled couscous, I think. Let me look. I think I only have a few speedy recipes. Let me see. Oh no, it uses orzo. But I do have a pearled couscous recipe. Seared scallops. And I believe I pressure cook the couscous. And the reason why I'm going through all this is because I'm going to just try to give you some ideas of how to do it in the speedy right off the top of my head. But I need to remember how long I pressure cooked for. Okay, let's see. So let me just read through this real quick. Okay, so I did low pressure for 3 minutes. So I would think that I would steam it, and you could do this in combination with like steam crisp or something like that. I would probably steam the couscous, if you're using the pearl couscous, for, I'm going to say probably 4 to 5 minutes. I think the important thing with the pearled couscous is letting it sit after the water starts to hydrate it, then you let it sit so it absorbs the water. But maybe if you tell me what issues you're having with it, then I can help kind of steer you in the right direction of how to get that right in the speedy. But yeah, steam would probably be the best option in the speedy, unless you're just making it by itself and you just wanted to like use sear saute, because you could also do it that way. That would be like boiling it on the stove. All right. Sausage rigatoni. All right, that sounds good. Is that one of mine? I don't even know if that's one of mine. Doesn't matter though. Sounds good. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna kind of keep going. Okay, Diane's about the egg drop soup. without yolks. Yeah, you could make egg drop soup with the whites of the eggs if that's what it is. No-nos mean yolks. Okay, I don't know that. I don't know that. Or MSG, right? MSG. Okay, so the no-nos in canning, like flour, pasta, cornstarch, etc. Yes, you can absolutely make it without any of those things, including cornstarch, because it's the only thing I think that's in egg drop soup. I did not know. That's interesting, Jolene. I just learned something because I've never even thought about no-nos in canning. I mean, like that. That's really interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, Jolene's going to email me a recipe. That's very good. I will look it over for you. And my cat's about to knock down stuff off the table. Oh, these animals, man, I'm telling you. She's getting to my lights. She wants to pull the lights down off the table. So if it goes dark, it goes dark. I'll keep talking, right? So Annie, I'm not poking fun at you, but if you start snoring, wake me. The funny thing is, can you guys hear my dog snoring back there? That's all I hear. I just hear her snoring. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what are people going to think? She's just back there snoring away. All right. So John in Australia says they have corned beef in a can, but they also have regular corned beef. Okay, good. Oh, Wendy, that's interesting. A Puerto Rican recipe for corned beef in a can. That sounds good. That sounds good, honestly. I mean, I don't do a lot of canned meat, but I bet it's nicely spiced and probably just absolutely delicious. Okay. This is something. Pastrami is corned beef that has been smoked. I might have that backwards though. You know what? Let's look it up. I thought it was a top round, but let's find out. And it can probably be both, right? Because again, if it's pastrami from the deli, it's not going to be probably a brisket. Let's see. Pastrami cut of beef. Oh. Okay, so pastrami is made with the point brisket, which contains more marbling and fat. Pastrami can also be made, okay, so it can be made with other cuts of beef such as deckle, a lean shoulder cut, beef belly, which comes from the plate, or probably something else too. Okay, so is pastrami basically corned beef? So pastrami is smoked, so you're right on that, and then steamed, and corned beef is boiled. Well, I think that's pretty general because you don't have to boil your corned beef. I mean, you don't have to do that. I mean, pressure cooking is essentially boiling / steaming. If it's in the liquid, it's boiling. If it's out of the liquid, it's probably a really hot steam. All right. No, I think you're right, Viking Mama. Okay. Okay, so do you have to cut across the grain with a flat back, the brisket? That's so interesting because I've never ever thought about, I mean, obviously, yes, you would want to cut across the grain, but the way that the brisket is, especially the flat cut, it's you slice long ways. I've never had the grain going a different way where I had to fix it that I can remember. Like it just comes so like natural. It's not hard. Like some cuts of meat, some cuts of meat have the grain going this way and then this way, and you might start slicing it correctly, and then all of a sudden the grain switches a little bit. I've never run into that with the flat cut of the corned beef, and I've never done a slow roast point cut. If I have a point cut, I usually do boil it. All right, let's see. Daniel, you're going to put me on the spot because I don't know the answer to this. Maybe somebody else will. Okay. Okay, what is the difference between Speedy Meals function on the Speedy and the Steam and Crisp function on the OL701? Can I cook the recipes from the Speedy recipe builder in the OL701 using the rack? Okay, I don't know enough about the Speedy to know exactly what the settings are for Speedy Meal. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because Speedy Meals is not a setting, is it, on the Ninja Speedy? Hold on 1 minute. I've got one right on a shelf here. I'm going to go look at it real quick because I'm thinking that if it's steamed crisp, steamed baked, they're the same. No, there is a Speedy Meals function. Okay, I don't know what that does exactly. Okay. So, all right, there is a Speedy Meals function, and I don't know that I've ever used it. And I am thinking, okay, so how the steam crisp works on the OL701 is the liquid in the bottom starts to heat up, and you can have rice or pasta in there with, that's fine. But it's usually a thin liquid. It needs to be sort of a thin liquid. And then it starts to heat up until it boils, which is all when it's going preheat. And as it boils, it produces steam. On the steam crisp function, the preheat, which is the boiling and starting the steaming, only lasts about 5 minutes. Then it switches over. So it kind of cuts off the bottom heat from what I can tell, okay, based on what I've done with it. Cuts off the bottom heat and starts with the top heat. So now you've got the dry heat. You still have steam in the pot, probably for the first 7 to 10 minutes of the dry heat time. And that depends on what's in the pot to begin with, okay? Because if all the water has been absorbed, then you're not going to produce as much steam because you don't have that liquid boiling. I hope all that makes sense. So now we're going to the dry heat and dry heat only. With Speedy Meals, I mean, there is a possibility, and I haven't tested this, that the bottom heat stays on as the dry heat. It might lower down. It's going to lower down some, probably, but the dry heat comes on top. So we've got dual heat. So we're heating from the bottom, heating from the top. I don't know that for a fact, though. So my final answer is I do not know exactly. However, I am fairly certain that you can cook the recipes from the Speedy Recipe Builder using the rack in the OL701 and be just fine using Steam and Crisp. Because I do not think the Speedy Meals, or is that what they're called? Yes, Speedy Meals. I don't think it's a longer steam time, but I don't know. I don't know the answer. So we need to find that out for you, Daniel. So hopefully somebody in the chat has the Ninja Speedy and has used Speedy Meals and can remember what that preheat time is, because it's either going to probably be 5 or 6 minutes or it's going to be 20 minutes, because Combi Bake, which is on the Ninja Combi, does about 20 minutes. And I don't remember, Leanne, if you're here, do you remember the Combi Meals function, if it's a longer preheat or a short preheat? Yeah. Sorry. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Bonnie says, my mom used to take a smoked butt instead of corned beef, but did the cabbage, carrots, and potatoes like corned beef. Oh, that sounds good, Bonnie. That sounds really good. All right, Peter, I recently picked up a nice piece of smoked brisket at Costco, and it was beautifully seasoned and sliced thin. It was the closest thing to the Montreal style I have found. I didn't even know there was a Montreal style, so I'm learning something, and I'm going to start researching that. So, yeah, that's awesome. Okay. And Peter says, unfortunately, what I can't seem to find is the caraway rye bread that Ben and Dunn's used. So I want to make a caraway rye bread so badly. That's like, I've never made rye bread for some reason. I have a soda bread, but that's different. I really want to make a rye bread. So I'm going to have to work on that. But I don't know what that brand is or who that is. So I don't know if mine will be like that or not. All right. Brisket makes good beef bacon. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Yes, you are right. You need pink curing salt, number 1, not number 2. Absolutely, that is correct. Number 1 is for short cures, and number 2 is for much longer cures that may not be cooked. All right. Wendy, I have an amazing beef and barley soup. It's on my website. So just go to the website and then type in beef and barley. I love beef and barley soup, and I love orzo too. I really do. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness, Annie. So I can't wait for my turkey Wellington tomorrow night. I made it and just took the sausage out of the oven. Tomorrow I will wrap it and serve it to my friends. They are my guinea pigs. That is amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that you made that. That's amazing. It's really, really delicious. Okay. Of course, you may not have made my recipe, and that's fine too. I don't know how many recipes there are out there for turkey Wellington, but um, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Thank you, Wendy, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Charcuterie. Number 2, the curing salt we're talking about. Number 2 is for charcuterie. Yeah, those are long, dry. And do they even cook them afterwards? I'm not sure. I guess it depends on what they're doing. What's on the charcuterie board, right? Right. All right. Let's see. All right. Hey, CJ, how are you? Of course, I'm very late. Hi, William. How are you? All right, let's see. I'm going down. I'm going down here. Um, Okay, so I said hi and bye to CJ because I was that far behind. So anyway, hi and bye. Okay, so Leanne's got the answer here. Combi meals is a longer preheat. So I would think then, I'm just deducing things here. I bet Speedy Meals is probably a longer preheat too, which would make it more like steam bake on the Ninja Foodie OL 701. But this is something that I'll have to look into to find the actual answer. All right. Okay. Paula, what is the difference between roast and bake in the Ninja Grill? That is a really good question. And I don't think it's much, if anything. And I don't remember this for sure, but it could be temperature ranges. It could be that roast goes to a little bit higher of a temperature. Sometimes they do that with these appliances, and I don't know why. They could just call it one thing, like on the Ninja Foodie, roast bake or bake roast is one function, right? But on the grill, they separated it out. Is it so they can say there's 7 functions instead of 6? I don't know. If anything is different, it's probably going to be the fan speed, but I don't think there's much difference. Okay. Or the temperature settings are different on the different functions. So just look for the one that has the temperature that you want to cook at, and you could roast or bake. It's not going to make a difference that I know of anyway. All right. Let's see. Okay. Want to hear something funny? I thought the combi was the one with the spoon on top. Which one has the spoon on top? Oh, the Possible Cooker Pro. Yeah, I think that's the one that has the spoon on top in the pictures and stuff. Yeah. That is not the combi. That is the Ninja Foodie Possible Pro Cooker. They have so many different appliances. It's hard to keep up. Let me just tell you. Okay, Wendy wants to know where she can find caraway seeds. They can be a little tricky sometimes to find. I am sure that you can order them on Amazon. I just don't know what the price difference is because they should not be expensive. But you can also order things from a spice company. I get some spices that I can't find locally from Spice Inc. And I've been pretty pleased with their products. And you can buy small amounts. You don't have to buy, it's not like bulk, you can buy small amounts. All right, June just put up 8 beautiful jars of pork butt. I have never canned any meat at all. But if I was going to do it, pork butt would be a good choice, right? I've never canned any meat. I'm not a canner for some reason. I want to be. I want to learn. I can steam can or water bath can. That's fine. But I've never done like actual pressure canning. Okay, Kimberly's got an answer here. My speedy usually takes about 5 to 7 minutes in the speedy meals function. Okay, so now we're back to that steam and crisp on the OL 701, which is the Ninja Foodie. Oh, but it does change, Kimberly. See, some of them don't even change depending on the liquid. Like I did that experiment with the Ninja Foodie OL 701 where I thought that I might be able to get a longer preheat time if I added more liquid. And this is, of course, if I wasn't putting anything in the bottom, because when you're putting stuff in the bottom food-wise and it absorbs the liquid, you've got to go with what that food needs, right? You've got to give it enough hydration. But I tried it. I think I was trying it with bread. Where I wanted to give a little bit more steam, but not as much as steam bake. And it never did any more. I mean, it was about 5 to 7 minutes all the time. So I was never able to trick it, so to speak, by putting in more water. Okay, let's see. Oh, yes. And Crystal wants to learn to make pancakes. That's right. We're going to do that, Crystal. We're going to do that. All right, Robin made ham pies last week, and they were delicious, except my weirdo oven burned the edges of the crust. Oh, darn. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. So next time, just lower the heat a little bit. 25 degrees, you'll be fine. Okay, great, Annie. I'm so glad. You're gonna love that. You're gonna love that. That's a major recipe. That's a 2-day recipe, but that's awesome. I cannot wait to hear what your guests think. All right, George has got a comment. I've tried a few goulash recipes, but never found one that seemed authentic or how it tasted back in the 80s, 90s. Maybe try that for something new to cook if you haven't already, Louise. Okay, George. So goulash, what kind? Because there's Hungarian goulash, which is a type of stew, but there's also American goulash or chop suey, it's sometimes called. And that is a beef macaroni dish. So when somebody says goulash to me, because of, where I was born and raised, I think of the macaroni dish. It never occurs to me about the Hungarian stew. So I'd like to make the Hungarian stew because I've already made the goulash, but I haven't done a recipe for goulash. That's like on my list of things to do. Okay. How do you cook Cornish hens? Air fry them. And I actually have just finished testing a recipe. I can tell you exactly how to do it. So of course you're going to season them. And I usually season them and let them sit in the refrigerator unwrapped overnight with the seasoning on. And in the Ninja Foodie air fryer, you air fry at 375 for 27 to 30 minutes. And they are amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then I've also smoked them and they were very good smoked. And I've done them in the Ninja Combi using air fry and at the same exact timing. Okay. Crystal wants to know if I've ever had cookie butter. If you haven't, you totally need to get some because the stuff is delicious. I've never heard of cookie butter. What is cookie butter? Let's look it up. Cookie butter. Oh, I see. It's like peanut butter, but it's made with like a Biscoff type of cookie. I've never seen it before, Crystal. And now, unfortunately, guess what's going to happen? Now I'm going to see it and I'm going to buy it. And I don't need to buy anything like that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Leanne saying she hasn't seen any difference between bacon roast on the grill. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Yes, TKO Preg powder is the pink curing salt, not to be confused with Himalayan pink salt. Different, totally different. All right, let's see. Okay, Carol says roasting uses the same type of all over dry heat as baking, but at higher temperatures between 400 and 450. Choose the roasting method to get thicker, tougher foods, brown and crisp. Okay, so did that come from the Ninja thing? So maybe bake only goes up to 400 and maybe roast goes a little higher. I'm not sure though. Okay, Jolie, I'm going to be canning more ugly CHX. Is there something wrong with me tonight that I don't understand any of this? Really, I feel like I should know these things. More ugly chicken? What is this? You've got to tell me. That's what I would think. What is ugly CHX? Please tell. I don't know what it is. I feel like I should know these things. Okay, so Crystal has a question. I have an Instant Pot, which I have. My question is, I have a silicone trivet, and every time I use that thing, I swear it takes way longer to come to pressure. Why? Well, okay, so silicone conducts heat differently, but that's interesting. I wouldn't think that it would necessarily affect the time to pressure, except if it's absorbing the heat and the steam. And of course, the way that pressure cooking works is it's boiling the thin liquid in the bottom, producing the steam. The steam fills the pot, pops up the little sealing pin. Then we have a pressurized pot. And then the water stops boiling, the liquid stops boiling because now we're just pressurized. So I'm thinking that because of silicone, because of the way heat transfer works, and silicone takes so much longer to heat up, that's what I'm thinking is causing the difference. But I've never noticed. I don't pressure cook a lot with silicone. I steam with silicone. I don't bake with silicone. I don't really like silicone that much for baking. And that's just I know people love it, and that's perfectly fine. If it works for you, great. But because it just conducts heat so poorly, it's one of the poorest conductors of heat. So I don't use it that much. So I don't have a lot of experience is what I'm saying. But that's the only thing I can think of that would cause that to happen, honestly. Okay. All right. Eastern European. We're good, George. I'll start working on that. Okay. Well, thank you, Practical Outdoorist. I appreciate that so much. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, everyone, don't tell me where I can go buy cookie butter, okay? No, I don't need any cookie butter. Okay, yeah, Spice House. That's another spice. And then I saw there's a Penske Spices. I think my friend gets her spices from there. All right, Kimberly, I really enjoy your recipe for manually grilling pork tenderloin with the temperature probe in the XL indoor grill. Do you use the indoor grill for certain meals, meats for best results? I'll be really honest with you, Kimberly. I hardly ever use the indoor grill. Honest to goodness, I don't use it. It's here. My husband uses it for bacon. I cannot stand cleaning it. I just don't like cleaning it. If I'm going to go, speaking of which, I need to clean my outdoor grill. I go, for some reason, I don't know. I don't like cleaning the outdoor grill either, but it seems easier to me. I don't know why. It's not really, but it seems like it is. I don't like today, my countertop. I forget what Jeff made the other day using the indoor grill. You know how it's got that little gully, that will collect whatever grease, fat, whatever. Well, that was clean. Okay. That was clean. But there was like grease and brown stuff on my counter. And that's what happens. I don't like it. So I don't use it a lot, but it works great. It works great. I just go outside and use the wood fire now. So, I did just get the Ninja Sizzle though, because I'm hoping that I can use that as a quick thing. And I hear it cleans up better. So we'll see. The problem that I have a lot with the indoor grill is like almost every single time I have to take the screen out, that collects everything. They have different models now. So if yours doesn't have one, consider yourself lucky. Mine does. And I wonder if I could just run it without it. Well, then probably everything will be all over my walls, right? But I have to take it out and I have to use oven cleaner to clean it because otherwise it will not get clean no matter what I've tried. And I do not know why my nose is itching, but it is. No matter what I've tried, I cannot get it clean. So I have to put it in a baggie with oven cleaner, and I don't use oven cleaner. So I buy a bottle of it just for that, and I don't usually use it. So I try not to use those chemicals. But anyway, I can't figure out any other way to clean it. Okay, let's see. Crystal, I do not want to buy cookie butter. Jeff, when you go to Walmart, look for cookie butter, please. Thank you. We'll be eating cookie butter, Crystal. I'll be filling you in on Tasty Tuesday. If we can find it around here. Okay, chicken. Okay, good. I was right about that. Look up Sutton Day's Ugly Chicken. Why are chickens ugly? My chickens are not ugly. In fact, I have 2 chickens that escape the coop all the time. Every day they escape. They jump over. We have 6-foot high fence, and they jump over. They come out. You can't keep them in, and they jump back in too. Like they're crazy. But they came up to my porch for little snacks the other morning. Like, ooh, I just love them. Okay. It's my abbreviation too, Jolene, for chicken. I just wasn't sure what ugly chicken is. So ugly chicken. That's the thing I don't understand. Is it like the parts of the chicken that you wouldn't want to just, cook up a different way? I'm just interested. I'm interested. Okay. Yeah, Jolie, let's face it. We love to cook and hate the aftermath and cleanup. That is so true, isn't it? Oh my goodness gracious. All right. Robin loves her indoor grill. And how is that little thing to clean? Your little screen. Okay. Kathy's got the sizzle and says she doesn't use it that much. George wants to know what cookie butter is. Cookie butter, from what I just glanced at, is it's I don't even know if there's any nuts in it. I'm not even sure. I don't know what it is, George, but it looks like it's ground up cookies into a nice creamy paste like a peanut butter. I bet it's delicious. Okay. I've done that. Edith is recommending the Dawn Power Wash to clean the grill. I've done that. It's not the grill grate itself, although mine is wiggly. So I don't have straight grill grates. I don't think so anyway. Mine goes around, and I don't like that. It's hard to clean, really hard. Okay, D, you are exactly right. That is exactly what it is. It's Biscoff spread, because I saw Biscoff cookie butter. So that's exactly what it is. Now, you want to hear something funny? I had never even heard of a Biscoff cookie until I started doing this job, and people were always talking about it, and they were always from the UK. And I now am seeing them in my little tiny Tennessee grocery store. I still haven't tried one. I don't know what they are. I mean, I don't know what they taste like. I'm kind of thinking they're like a butter cookie, maybe. Oh, okay. Carol, real quick. I don't have a Trader Joe's, but I'll look around for it. Jolene, raw pack canning chicken, and it looks ugly in the jar. Oh, I bet it does. So I see what that is. Okay. I can imagine what that is, where you just put the raw chicken in and you put your water in and you pressure can it for however many minutes that you need to do it. And then it's going to look foamy. It's going to look, yeah, you're going to get all the parts. But hey, it's all fine. It's all cooked. It's all good. Okay. Um, love you, George. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. Oh my gosh, am I down to the end? Let's see. I think I am. And then, okay, so now Jolene's taking it a whole nother level. The Biscoff cookies with the cookie butter. Okay. So, right. Isn't that the truth? Oops, I mean to get this one. Two great nations divided by a common language. Laugh out loud. I know it never ceases to amaze me how many things are called something different. Oh my gosh. Oh, no water. I'm all over the place, guys. Hi, Grits Kennedy. How are you? Hi, Trisha. How are you? No water when raw pack canning chicken. That makes sense too. I get that. I understand that. But how do you know that there's going to be enough liquid when you're raw packing it that after you pressure can it, there's going to be enough liquid to cover it? Or does it just not matter? Very interesting. Yeah, John, there's been a lot of problems. There's this guy named George. He's very difficult, John. Could you have a talking to with him, please? No, I'm joking. Everything's going great. Oh boy. All right. Annie's making the turkey tenderloin. So, Louise, do I cover the sausage bake till tomorrow or leave it uncovered? Okay. So you have stuffed your turkey. You have wrapped your turkey in sausage. You have baked the sausage on. Now, I think once it's cooled down some, I wrap it in plastic wrap. So wrap it in plastic wrap, but don't wrap it in the puff pastry until just before you're going to cook it. Okay? All right. Okay. So what we're talking about with raw canning chicken, and Jolene, I hope you're still here to jump in if I'm wrong, is that you take raw chicken, put it into your canning jars, screw the lids down, finger tight, put them in your pressure canner. They're submerged in liquid. Then as the pressure canning is happening, it is cooking the chicken and producing the liquid, the canning liquid. So when you pull it out, you have liquid and chicken. So it's not scary at all. I mean, I don't even know how long you would pressure can this, but it's a long time. I mean, I would say I don't even know how long you pressure can chicken. Okay. But it's long enough to kill everything. As long as people are following, good recipes, you got nothing to worry about. So do you have to freeze the ugly chicken after pressurizing it then? So now let's be real clear here. We're not talking about pressure cooking. We are talking about pressure canning, and it's different. So, I mean, it's the principles are the same, but the Ninja Foodie is not approved for pressure canning. Pressure canning is done. I think they do have one approved electric one now, but I don't even want to speak to that because I'm not a canner. But my mom is canned enough that I've seen this. She has a huge one because she does so much. But good night, Robin. But she has a big pot. It's a pressure canner pot that goes on the stove, and you put so much liquid in it so that whatever you're canning is submerged under this water. The cans or jars, canning jars, sit on a rack. Then you adjust your pressure. I don't even know what you would call it. Pressure ball thing. Some of them have different ones. Like you could do 15 pounds of pressure. I don't know what else. 17 pounds of pressure. I don't know if you can go to 20 pounds of pressure. Don't quote me on any of this. But anyway, you can adjust. Like some recipes will actually say this many pounds of pressure, blah, blah. So you adjust your little weight. I think it's weighted at one time. It's probably a lot easier now. But anyway, and then you make sure that it's at a constant boil. And then you start your time for your pressure canning. I think I got that right. I mean, I've looked into it quite a lot because I really want to do it. And I have a huge pressure canner, but I just don't do it. So, I even have a gas stove out in like a little outbuilding, like a little, I don't even know what you would call it because it's not a shed, just like a little outbuilding. The people that owned this house before said they built it as like a dollhouse. It's not even a dollhouse. It's a full-size house. Rustic though. No, you couldn't be in there. And that's the reason why I don't even can in there. I've got a gas stove in there that it would be perfect for canning. The bees are in there and so are the mice. And so guess who isn't in there? This girl is not in there anymore. Okay. So, but that was my hope and my dream was to pressure can in there and then have all this beautiful stuff. But anyway, didn't work out that way. Okay. It pressure cans. We have pints for 75 minutes and quarts for 90 minutes. So trust me. And we're talking pressure canning, but it's the high temperatures, just like pressure cooking. So it is definitely done. It sounds very easy to do too, right? Yeah. And then Jolene saying the pounds of pressure depends on your elevation. Yeah. I can see that definitely. Oh my gosh, I love these chats that we have so much. I'm sure some people find them very boring. If it's not something you're interested in, of course, I'm interested in all things cooking. So I love all of it. And I love to learn from you and love all the new ideas. And I'm sure I'm going to love that cookie butter. I'm sure I am. And then I'll have to figure out how to make my own version of it, right? So, all right, so I'm going to be working on macarons, and I don't know what happened. I saw more people saying what they were going to be working on, and I couldn't find it. Oh, George, you're going to put me on the spot here. Quick question. To sterilize jars in the foodie or the oven, is it correct that 10 minutes at 300 degrees Fahrenheit will sterilize them? We're talking about raw or just plain clean jars, right? I would, if they're canning jars, I would pressure cook them. But I don't know about oven. I've never done it. So how long does it take to sterilize jars in the oven and at what temp? Let's ask Google. Okay, so 275 degrees, which is perfectly fine, George, to be at 300, no problem. Wash the jars, rinse them, don't dry them, place them in a clean, on a baking tray and place in the oven for 10 minutes. Yep, so that would work. So yep, you're right on the money there. Or you could pressure cook them for probably like 3 minutes and that would work too. All right. Hey, Grits Kennedy, thank you so much. So it is so not boring. Hey, we are here because we love learning. No great cook is ever a know-it-all. And we are great cooks because every day is an opportunity to learn something new. It's awesome. That is so true. That is so, so, so incredibly true. I could not have said it better myself. I love that. And the more we learn and the more experiences we have, especially with that really difficult person, George, that enlightens us so much. I'm just joking with you, George. We really do learn a lot. And everything that we learn, you just file it away. And then one day you'll be surprised because you'll go to do something. You'll be like, wait a minute, I heard about this. You won't remember where, and that doesn't matter, but you'll say, oh, that's right. Like I'll tell you one thing that I learned when I first started doing this. I had never in my life combined water and flour together to mix it up and pour it in like I would a cornstarch slurry. Never in my life, because I always made a roux. So I always started off, if I was doing a beef stew on the stove or whatever, I would always make a roux. So I've never done it that way. And I've never seen my mom do it that way. When she was making gravy, she would cook whatever, have the fat on top And then if she wanted to make gravy out of, whatever pan dripping she had with the glistening fat on top, she would simply sprinkle with her spoon the flour over top of this hot, drippings with the grease. She made the most lovely gravy all the time. So when I'm making my beef stew on, for a video, for a recipe, and I didn't think it was quite as thick as I wanted it to be, I thought, okay, and I was winging it on the video, right? Because the other times I made it, it was thick. But when I was doing the video, there always seems to be something that goes wrong because that's how life is. So I was doing the video, so I was like, okay, real quick, I will put a little bit of the broth into my jar, put some flour in it, and mix it up. Now it worked fine for me, right? But or did it not? Or did it explode? I don't think it exploded on my video, but I think people were having issues with it, like starting to explode. Anyway, I'd do a whole thing on the post. Come to find out, I could have just put cold water and flour in there and poured it in, boiled it for a little bit to boil off the flour taste. And I had people commenting right and left, like, why didn't you just combine the flour with the water and put it in like that? That's a much easier way to do it. Because I had no experience with that, right? I'm a good cook, but I've never done it that way. So did not know that would work. So we all learn. That's the point. Yes, George, I love you. So yes, I am just joking. I love all the questions that you pop up. You know what John did not do tonight is give me one of his famous questions that always throw me off guard. I think I had enough though in the chat that I didn't know the answers to. So I think that's why he probably said, yeah, she doesn't need one. All right. Oh, that's funny. As long as the liquid isn't hot, you can make the slurry. Otherwise you get dumplings. Yeah, that's funny. Right. Oh my gosh, that's funny. All right. And then Jolene does her jars at 200 degrees. I don't even think I think clean is important, but I don't know if they've even moved away from sterilizing things for canning. I don't know. I know with yogurt, it used to be a big deal that everything had to be sterilized, but now I think just as long as they're clean in the dishwasher, that's what I do. I wash my stuff in the dishwasher and let it dry in the dishwasher, and then I'm ready to go. Hi, Terry. How are you? Okay. So before we end, I told you I was going to tell you what my idea is. And so let me tell you what it is. I'm thinking that what I'm going to do, and I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. So I don't know where or what platform I'm going to use or anything like that. But I am going to start once a month. And if it's too much for me, it'll be once every 3 months. I don't know yet. We're going to do one and find out. And it's going to be the macarons probably. So I'm going to start, whether it's a Facebook group, whether it's something in my own private community, because I have a private community that I can set up something for people to come in and join. And I'm going to email people. So you're going to want to get on my email list. I will definitely also talk about it on the Tasty Tuesdays and the Q&As, and I'll post it on Facebook. But if you really want to be notified about what the topic is, you're going to want to get on my email list, okay? Which is where I email out recipes, and I'm not very good at it, so you don't get that many, so don't worry about it. But I think I'm going to take one topic, and that topic could be something that I want to learn or something that people vote on. So I'll probably do some polls and things like that vote on a topic of something that they want to learn, whether it's like, how to make a brioche bun, or how to make brioche bread, or how to make rye bread, or how to make macarons, or how to make cinnamon rolls, or how to make this, that. And I'm going to set up a group. You're going to sign up for it. It's 1 month free, but you sign up for it. Then you're going to have access to that. And all of the videos that I do, that we do, we're going to have probably a weekly kind of Q&A like this, but I'm hoping it's set up where people can actually join on screen if they want. Like one might be a sourdough starter. I'm really looking forward to doing that because I want to get my sourdough starter going. But I feel like there's a lot of places where you can fall off the cliff when you're trying to master a new technique. And if you don't have people to kind of bounce ideas off of that are working through the same things, it can be a little difficult. But I want a definite start and a finish to it, right? And then you can always go back and look at that again. You won't lose access to it or anything like that. But it'll be that's it. And then we're done. Then we move on. And so it could be like if you have, and I don't really, I mean, I hate to say this because it probably would be better if there were people in the group that really knew what they were doing, but I honestly don't want experts in these groups. I want them to be dummies like me with macarons, you know? I want us to learn from each other based on what's going right or going wrong. So Jolene says, are they live videos or recorded? They would probably be live and then replay, probably. I don't think I'm going to have time to record them. These are going to be off the cuff where if I'm going in, like if it's the weekly time to do our weekly thing, I'm probably going to have my phone and my phone's going to be recording it. Jeff's not going to be around. It's not going to be professional. My hair is going to be up. I'm probably not going to have makeup on. I will be dressed. But that's all I promise. I'll be dressed. I might not even have shoes on. No, I will have shoes on, but they might be flip-flops. So very, very laid back. And the thing is, once you sign up for that topic, because you don't have to sign up for all the topics. I mean, you know, you might like this topic, you might not like that topic. But once you sign up for the topic, once we close it, nobody gets in. It's only us, right? And I'll probably will limit the amount of people that can join. And I just think it's going to be a fun way to interact in a really small group environment based on a topic that either I want to learn, you want to learn, we all want to learn, right? Because anything that you guys want to learn, I want to learn too. Even if I already think I know how to do it, there's always ways to get better at things. So I think it's going to be fun. I'm like, that's one thing that I've really been missing. And I've been so, I don't know, a little burned out because our Facebook groups, I have a lot of them and they've gotten so big that I feel like I miss so much. And I was in there today and I'm trying to and everybody else is helping everybody. So it's like so beautiful that I don't need to do that. So I thought, well, let's do something different, right? So I will work out the details because I'm not sure, but I'll be putting a schedule together. I am sure D1 is going to be sourdough starter because I need to start that. So I will probably do that one in April because I have to start my own. So I'm going to do that one, but I'm going to do macarons here in March. So I'll get it all together in the next, couple days because I need to get it going. So anyone who's interested in learning how to make macarons can join in. Kimberly, I have not decided. So she's asking, am I planning a YouTube live video or on Facebook? Because this is going to be private, like it's not going to be something that anybody can come back and watch it. If you're not in that group for that topic, it's not something that's going to be out there, right? It's between the group, right? So I have not decided on the best way. I have a platform for my Ninja Foodie course called, I use Kajabi. And through Kajabi, I have a private community for my course. And I'm thinking about adding it to that. So that you would get a sign in to that section of that course. And that's where you would go. So it wouldn't be Facebook. It wouldn't be YouTube. It would absolutely be something totally different, but it looks the same and it acts the same. And, you can do live videos in there and stuff like that. We could do, like little office hours. So like if you're having issues, like we could all just talk about that. People could come in or come out, as they wanted. Like if I set up a 2-hour window of time or whatever. Anyway, I'm working out the details. I love to share things with you guys even before I do them because it kind of motivates me and finds out whether or not you guys are even interested in it. So Annie says macarons are her fear too. So maybe you want to join our group, and it would be replayed. So you don't have to worry about it. It's not like we're in, school where we have to go to the class. You don't have to go to the class, and it's not going to be real formal like that either. You can always go back and look. And then if you have questions about whatever I did, or you have some comments of how I could do it better, I look forward to that too. And you could just write them down. So Bonnie, this is totally separate, but it's free. So yes, if you belong to the course, if you have the course, you already have access to the community, but you have access to the part of the community for the course. So this would be something a little bit different, but you could absolutely sign up for that grouping, right? You could sign up for it and be in, if that topic was interesting. Okay. Okay, George, but I know for a fact, are in our community, our private community. So you're good. You're golden. You're golden. So you'll know exactly how to navigate through that. All right. So yeah, I kind of want to keep it off of Facebook. I'll tell you, well, first of all, who else thought they were hacked today on Facebook? I did. I had 15 minutes of sheer fear today when Facebook went down. It was pouring down rain. I was updating my website because we use these things called plugins, and I have to update them. And I was updating them, and it said it wouldn't update because my internet went out because it was pouring down rain, and I have satellite internet. So when I went to go look into Facebook, because then I'm multitasking. So then I'm going to go over to my groups and look at those. And I'm logged out of Facebook, and I can't log into Facebook. And I'm thinking, okay, this is just the internet, right? It must be the internet, but how weird that I'm logged out. So I go to my phone, which has cell service. And I'm like, of course, where I live, I've got to like point it up at the exact corner of my house to try to get a little bit of signal. And I did, and I could not log in to Messenger or to Facebook. So I changed my password, and a friend of mine was just hacked, and it's bad for him. Like, it's bad for him the way he was hacked. And this person has taken over his account and making his friends and family believe that he's now into cryptocurrency and asking them for money. And I'm sure some are going to give him some. So it's really bad. So yeah, I had a lot of terror today just to realize. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've been hacked, and my whole business is going to go down the drain, because that has happened to many, many, many people on Facebook, where their groups got hijacked, their whole business accounts got hijacked, and people post as them. And it's scary. It is scary, scary, scary. Okay, so I did see Annie. Yes. So I'm not going to try to pronounce this, but it's basically how you make eclairs. Okay. I can make that so easily. So I know how to make that. That is a great one, because I've been wanting to make eclairs. So eclairs are for me. Somebody told me I was wrong about this, but I'm telling you, I don't think I am. Any eclair that I've ever had has pastry cream in the center, but somebody told me that in France it's not pastry cream. But afterwards I looked it up, and every single thing I saw said it was pastry cream. But the pâte choux, I can't say it. We'll have to practice that. That'll be the first part of that section. We'll all learn how to say it, right? Is the batter that gets piped out, that gets baked. And it's an interesting thing, because it's the same sort of thing of how you make cheese puffs. I don't know if you guys know what cheese puffs are. My mom used to make them all the time. Those little things that like you would put like ham salad or tuna fish or egg, whatever you want. They're little appetizer things, but they're usually made with either Swiss, or I guess you could use cheddar. I think she always used Swiss though. And you bake them, and the center's like almost hollow. Okay, so that's how the eclairs are too. So the eclairs just don't have the cheese in them. So I can do that. That's the whole point of that. Now you see why my YouTube videos are so long, because I can talk forever. Okay. Yeah, Leanne saying everybody thought they were hacked. People were changing their passwords 15 times. Yeah, I changed mine. I was freaked out about it. Yeah, same happened to me. I had zero, and you had zero internet issues. So you really knew for a fact it was Facebook. I did not know it was Facebook. And a funny story, this is true story. So all of a sudden I get a text message through my phone. Now, I do not get text messages very often. Number one, I don't have good cell phone signal. So I don't, people who need to reach me, family, I always tell them go through Facebook Messenger, because I will see that. I might not see a text message. And the person that I would have messaged on Facebook Messenger, had it not have been down, is my friend Lauren from the Tasty Travelers. I would have been like, hey, are you having Facebook issues or whatever, But she texted me on my phone, like an actual text came through. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness you're having problems too, because then that means that I wasn't hacked. That was my biggest fear. All right, Grits Kennedy, see you later. And you're going to make chocolate covered cherries. Those are good. Those are good. Okay. Oh my gosh. So Juliet says that her job is impacted. I'm sorry, I don't mean to yawn. By the Change Healthcare hack, 2 to 3 weeks now. Oh my gosh, no end in sight. It's really scary. Okay, I don't know what pat a shoe means. Oh, oh my God, that's awesome. Pat a shoe. Is it really? Pat a shoe. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, Annie, that's a riot. George says it's pronounced shoe. And okay, so Annie, because I had already forgotten that I didn't know how to pronounce that pastry, I'm thinking, pat a shoe. How is me patting a shoe going to help with my Facebook login? I'm telling you guys, I don't know. You might be questioning my sanity right about now, because boy, oh boy. Okay. And D is shoe. Okay. All right. That's weird. Okay. It's a little strange to me. All right. All right. We got one here too. Pastry cream, yes, mixed with whipping cream. Okay, I do that. That's actually, there's a name for that. Do you know that? I have it in my post. I cannot remember off the top of my head. Devonshire cream, maybe? Anyway, pastry cream mixed with whipping cream to lighten it up, which is what I do with my banana pudding. And I did it in my Valentine's Day dessert, the strawberry stuff that I made. I didn't even know it was a thing. I just did it because I thought the pastry cream was a little heavy, and I mixed it with whipping cream for my banana pudding. I had zero idea that I was actually creating another cream, which I think, and I know I said it wrong. George and D, you can correct me. Devonshire cream, I believe. I think that's what it is. Anyway, Terry, what are those puffy muffin looking things from England with the gravy? I know somebody's already said it. Oh my gosh. It's on the tip of my tongue. I've made them. They're delicious. What are they called? Yorkshire puddings. Thank you. I could not remember. I could not remember what they are. That would be a fun one to delve into too. That would be a fun one. Yeah, popovers are probably like what we would call them, but I think the Yorkshire puddings are just a little different. I made them one time with sausage in the middle. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I was able to heat, I did it in the foodie too. I was able to heat the cast iron pan super, 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 super hot. And I think I put the sausages were pretty much cooked, I think. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. And then I poured the batter over top and it puffed all up. They were delicious, but I have no idea if I did it right. That would be a really fun one to do. Especially, I would definitely want somebody who knows, they don't have to be an expert, but knows what they're supposed to be like, because we could share our results with people, like explain like what the texture is, and people could say that's not exactly right, or that's right, or yeah, so that would be fun too. It could kind of be almost like a long time ago, Jeff and I were talking about doing Around the World Wednesday, where we would do different things from different places. But this would be fun too, to do it like in a group. So if that's something you guys are interested in, that would be fun. I would like that a lot. So for 1 month of our thing, we would be all focusing on getting our Yorkshire puddings spot on. There's also Christmas pudding that I don't really have any idea how to make, and I think that would be fun too. Yes, D, I did. I made onion gravy too, because I have bangers and mash on my website, and I wanted to do like a switch on that. So I did have the onion gravy. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And figgy pudding is another one I've heard of. I don't know what that is. That would be so much fun, guys. I would have so much fun with that. All right. I know I've kept you guys probably, oh my gosh, how many hours have we been on here? 90 minutes. Okay. I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. It's been great. It's always great. And I really look forward to doing this. And so I will be putting stuff up. For those of you that are not on Facebook and only on YouTube, I'll put a community thing up about what we're doing. It'll be like a little sign up thing. And then, and if you don't get in the first time, it'll first go out to my email list. So if you're not on my email list, get on the email list. And you can do that by going to, how do you get on the email list, Louise? I don't know, because I've been on it for a long time. I think. Okay. Now, this is very basic here, guys. Like, I need to revamp this page. It looks so silly. But anyway, this is a way to get on my email list. But I think there's another way that's easier. But if you don't have Facebook, you can't do it. Anyway, I'm not going to keep going on and on and on and on and on about this. You can definitely sign up. Right now, I would, if you're new signing up, sign up and hit, I want to see everything. Okay. And that way you won't miss this announcement. Then you can change your preferences, because I have it broken down into a lot of different appliances. So you could change them based on what you have or what you're interested in knowing about or getting recipes for. But for now, if you're new, click see everything so that you make sure you get into the right place where I send this out. If you're interested in joining one of our groups. Jolene, yes, if you are on the weekly emails, if you get my emails already, you're on it, and I will make sure that it goes out to everybody. All right. So I think we can say goodnight now. George, thank you as always for bringing up great points. Dee, thanks for all of your insight tonight. It was wonderful. Jolene, thanks for teaching us a little bit about canning. And Leanne, thanks for jumping in there with some combi information and helping me work out the whole bake roast thing. Joni, love you. And Joni, oh no, we've switched communities since you've been on there, but you should be in. All right, let me see. I'm sure there's other people. John, thank you for moderating as always. And I'm sure there's other people. Annie, thanks for all of the comments. Crystal, Thanks for making me fat. No, I'm joking. But I will look for that butter, and I'm sure I'm gonna love it. Cookie butter. I mean, who wouldn't like it, right? All right. I know I didn't say thank you to everybody who participated tonight. There's just so many of you guys, and thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. We'll see you on Tuesday for Tasty Tuesday. That's when I'm going to be cooking, and Jeff will be giving me these surprise ingredients, and we'll see what happens, right? We never know. All right. Good night, everyone.